of the United States to chat to mi hermano peruano, LME, who absolutely is probably the only Aston Villa fan I know in the United States that's not actually from Birmingham. But anyways, LME, we're going to talk about Villa fully in just a bit. But first of all, I have to get your immediate reaction to the American Revolution going on at Leeds. They're calling it Leeds United States. Weston McKennie, now joining up with the likes of Tyler Adams, of course, and Jesse Marsch there. I don't even know if the ink on the paper of his contract is fully dry yet, but how do you feel about this one? Excited for it, another American in the Premier League, because, playing at Juventus and in the Serie A is also a massive honor, some would say.
Well, Alexis Nunes, first of all, I'm very surprised that you didn't start with your flex, you chatting to Ryan Reynolds a few days ago. Going from Hollywood royalty to Peruvian royalty. You're just a lucky gal these last few days, Alexis Nunes.
Someone had to do it. It was a tough job, but someone had to do it.
I love it. I love it. And yes, you are correct. I'm probably the only Aston Villa fan in New York City, the only Aston Villa fan that's Peruvian, born in England, that moved from England, from Peru to the United States. I'm definitely one of that. But let's go to Leeds United, States of America, as you mentioned. Listen, if you're a USMNT fan, Leeds United is your team. It has to be in the Premier League. Unbelievable. You got Jesse Marsch as your manager, and now you got the trifecta of Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams, and Weston McKennie. Alexis. And to your point, right, this is a player that's coming from Juventus, a very well-renowned, respected, big giant, though obviously in massive financial issues right now in Serie A. And now Weston McKennie is arriving to the Premier League. In my opinion, out of the three, he's the perfect one for Leeds United, because he is a box-to-box midfielder, somebody that's physical, very good in the air. He's very confident. He has a very good relationship with Tyler Adams, and that's going to do nothing but help Leeds United. So I'm not saying that it's a complete, game changer for Leeds. It's not like I'm going to say you're going to end up on top of the table. But if you're a USMNT fan, you're looking directly at this team, because Jesse Marsch, if anything, knows these players left, right, and center, and vice versa. So this is very good news for a Leeds side who, by the way, are relying on that energy. They're relying on that counter-attacking style. Weston McKennie takes all the boxes. Leeds United, States of America. Unbelievable.
I know. Well, as much as it's getting to Leeds United, States of America, I know it's not enough for you to not support your boys from Aston Villa. So let's quickly talk about them then. Just talk to me about Villa's window then. What got you excited?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Alexis. Sometimes, and historically speaking, if you're a lifelong Villa fan like I am, you know that the January transfer window has almost been nothing but a headache and a nightmare, because almost always it's never really worked out. From overspending to spending the wrong way to try to figure it out, because ultimately we never really hired the proper manager that can help us elevate to what we used to be, which was a European team that made it to European competition. Well, guess what? The biggest acquisition is Unai Emery. He's the number one thing. In the history of the Premier League, Aston Villa has not had this kind of manager. And I'm including Martin O'Neill and my former favorites in Brian Little and John Gregory. We now have a manager who knows exactly what he wants. So with that, with a manager that knows exactly what he wants, he's not going to spend for the sake of spending. And so Villa fans on Twitter right now, you're probably reading a lot of frustration. Why are we not spending like the likes of even Forest or Leeds United or Bournemouth even? Why are we not spending? Well, I tell you what. Because Unai Emery only wants players that fit the system. And if they don't fit the system in January, then we'll wait till the summer. However, Alex Moreno, a very, very good player from Real Betis, he came in already earlier on. Jon Hader Duran, the Colombian 19-year-old, who's an absolute star, and he's going to have a very high ceiling for the Colombian national team. And, they went for Guendouzi as well from Marseille, but that wasn't to be. So Unai Emery's just being patient. And I believe that sometimes no action, Alexis, is better than too much action. I mean, look at Nottingham Forest. They're going to need to buy a warehouse, Alexis, to fit all those players. It's unbelievable. So Villa, I think, can be just, be relaxed, be calm. Just because you don't see action in the transfer window doesn't mean we're not elevating. Villa's 3 points from 6th in the Premier League, Alexis. That's something to celebrate. And the number one target we already have, and his name's Unai Emery.
Yeah, I love me some Unai Emery, but unfortunately, Unai is not a player. So if we're going to still talk about players, give me quickly your top 3 signings that you've seen so far from this January transfer window.
Okay, I'm going to give you my out-of-the-box transfers, okay? Not the ones that everybody's talking about. Enzo Fernandez for like, $7 billion. No, I don't want any of that. I'm going to give you my transfers that, we really have to think about. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Number one, I just mentioned it already. Jon Hader Duran, 19-year-old Colombian. He came from a club in Colombia called Envigado, which, created the likes of James Rodriguez, Juanfer Quintero. He has a very high ceiling. Chicago Fire loved him. 19, lots of high ceiling. And because I'm so in love with my former Colombian star of Villa, Juan Pablo Angel, it's great to see a Colombian striker for Villa. So that's one. Number two, Keylor Navas. It's done, Alexis. He's going to Nottingham Forest. The most famous, popular Costa Rican athlete, the most disrespected goalkeeper in the history of the game. Now
100%.
it's coming to the Premier League. I'm so excited about that. Costa Rica and City Ground. That's just going to be amazing. And then the other one, the last one, is Nathan Opoku, the Ghanaian 21-year-old who played USL soccer. That's the division below MLS. He played USL 2. Then he played in a college in Kentucky. And then he went to Syracuse University in the northeast of New York, and they won the NCAA tournament. Guess what? Leicester City just got him. He's gone straight to Belgium for a deal to, with the sister team there to get going before he enters the Premier League. That's like a movie in the making, Alexis, to come to all the way from Ghana to the United States, and now Leicester City, the Premier League later on. That's amazing. Those are my top three transfer stories that pretty much are going to go unnoticed, and they shouldn't.
Perfect. LME, siempre un placer. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Love your love.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.